Welcome back to the Foundry by Forge College. Today, we're diving into error handling and access control. I'm super excited to guide you through this explainer because we're going to take your basic smart contracts and give them some real heavy-duty armor. Coming off our last lesson on threat modeling for Solana applications, we kind of have to shift gears for Ethereum and ask ourselves a massive question. If literally anyone could interact with your public state variables, how on earth do you prevent absolute chaos? I mean, it's a fun thought experiment right up until it's your actual data on the line.
Think of this agenda as our engineering blueprint. We'll be covering 1. The open door problem. 2. Meet your contract bouncers. 3. The VIP list modifiers. 4. Building the greeting guard. 5. Testing your defenses. And 6. The enhanced hello world. Let's just jump right in.
Section 1. The open door problem, and why interactivity absolutely needs guardrails. Opening up a smart contract without any restrictions is exactly like opening a nightclub with no doors, no bouncers, and an open bar. It sounds like a great party for about 5 minutes. But here's the reality. Interactivity without guardrails produces completely unpredictable state. It's super fun to write functions that change state, like updating a greeting message, but it quickly becomes a nightmare. Imagine random users throwing in empty strings, or unauthorized callers just overwriting your critical data. Without protections, they will throw your contract into a completely invalid state. And remember, this is the blockchain. You can't just pull the server plug to fix it.
Section 2. Meet your contract bouncers. Specifically, require, resert, and assert.
Solidity actually provides us with built-in defense mechanisms to kick out bad transactions before they even touch our precious storage. We can compare require to the bouncer at the front door, doing a quick, cheap ID check on incoming inputs. If you don't meet the criteria, you don't get in. Simple as that. Now, revert is a bit different. It's more like the floor manager. They step in to break up a complex, multi-step dispute on the dance floor, where the logic is a bit more intricate, and you need to abort the operation based on some deeper business rules.
So breaking down our complete security roster, you've got require handling standard input validation right at the door. Then you've got revert catching those complex conditional failures a bit later on. And finally, there's assert. You want to use assert really sparingly because it's reserved strictly for internal compiler-level panic checks. Basically, if an assert fails, it means something theoretically impossible just happened, like a massive core logic bug.
Section 3. The VIP list modifiers. This is all about consistent access control.
This concept acts as the ultimate access control manager for your functions. In Solidity, a modifier is basically a reusable piece of code that restricts a function to a specific caller or condition, and it's always evaluated before the function's main body even executes. By centralizing our access logic into a modifier, we create this awesome reusable checkpoint. You don't have to copy and paste the same security checks into 20 different functions. You just slap the modifier on there, ensuring only authorized accounts can trigger those specific state changes.
Let's look at the absolute classic example. Inside an onlyOwner modifier, we use require to check if MSG sender, which is the address actually trying to call the function, matches our contract's stored owner address. If they don't match, the transaction is immediately booted out with the custom message, caller is not owner. It's simple, elegant, and highly effective.
Section 4. Building the greeting guard. It's time to put our bouncers to work.
Now that we know the theory, let's see how this actually applies to the greeting guard contract you'll be building in your Forge College guided projects. We're going to follow a precise 3-step procedure to lock this down. Step 1, implement that onlyOwner modifier. Step 2, protect the reset function. And step 3, compile and deploy.
First, for our updateGreeting function, we need to validate the input. Notice the syntax we use here. We check if the bytes length of new greeting is greater than 0. Solidity doesn't actually let you compare a string to an empty string cheaply, so we convert it to bytes first. This efficiently blocks any costly empty string submissions right at the door, before we waste any gas trying to update the state.
Next up, for our reset greeting function, we want to make absolutely sure we aren't wasting gas resetting a greeting that is already reset, right? So we use kekhack256 to securely hash and compare our strings. If the current greeting hash exactly matches the hash of Hello World, we use an explicit revert to abort the transaction right then and there. The floor manager steps in and says, hey, nothing to do here. Save your gas.
Section 5. Testing your defenses by intentionally triggering expected reverts.
Because let's be real, a bouncer is completely useless if you don't test them.
To truly verify our contract, you're going to need to execute 3 specific checkpoints locally using either Hardhat or Remix, targeting Solidity 0.8.0 or higher. We want to attempt a valid update, an invalid update with an empty string, and an unauthorized reset attempt. This proves our storage remains perfectly unchanged during an attack.
So, when you try to pass an empty string to the update function, the transaction should immediately fail. You'll see it spit this exact require message right back in your console. Greeting must not be empty. If you see this, boom, your first bouncer is doing their job perfectly.
Next, switch over to a different account in your testing environment. If that unauthorized account tries to trigger the reset function, our onlyOwner modifier is going to step in, halt execution entirely, and return the error caller is not owner. Your state is totally untouched. Your VIP list is secure.
And finally, switch back to the owner account. If the owner tries to reset a greeting that is already set to the default Hello World, our multi-branch GreetingGuard 256 check will trigger our explicit revert message, greeting is already default. Everything works exactly as we engineered it to.
Section 6. The enhanced Hello World, secure and ready to deploy.
The big takeaway here is that by properly instrumenting your functions, invalid inputs now produce highly testable, extremely predictable failures. To summarize our blueprint, use require at the door for your cheap upfront inputs, use revert for complex multi-branch logic, and apply modifiers for that reusable VIP access list. You are guaranteeing that absolutely nobody can manipulate your contract state without your explicit permission.
So, I'll leave you with this. Is your contract truly ready for the public, or are you just crossing your fingers hoping bad actors don't find the back door? If you want to make absolutely sure your Ethereum smart contracts can withstand the wild west of the public blockchain, head over to Forge.College to dive deeper into this module and other Web3 topics. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and happy building!